Like I've said before, Pedro Pascal ain't ever disappointed as a dad. Anytime he plays a dad, he always does his thing, man.
Woke up this morning, feeling that shine. Whole team got the glow. You can see it in the stride. Got me feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new. Got me feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new. Yeah.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy JusRzd, and today we are finally having an opportunity to review the first episode of season 2 of The Last of Us. Now, I don't know if you tapped in with the first season or if you've tapped in with the video game series at all, but Last of Us season 1 on Max, the series was phenomenal. It was done very well. Probably one of the best video game adaptations in live action that we've had so far. Just the beat for beat story points that they pulled from the game, shot for shot with the game and the series. Like it was dope the way they adapted it. The actors have been phenomenal. The production has been phenomenal. The character development has been dope. And the story of Last of Us is dope. So Last of Us 2 pretty much starts kind of similar to the video game for Last of Us Part 2. However, right out the gate, they show us and introduce us to Abby and her crew and who they are. Shout out to two people that you'll become well acquainted with this year from other projects, which is Danny Ramirez, who was Joaquin Torres, Falcon, the new Falcon, in Captain America: Brave New World, and Isabella Merced, who's going to be Hawk Girl in the new Superman. So shout out to y'all two for being in The Last of Us. And of course, we know Pedro Pascal is going to be Mr. Fantastic in Fantastic Four this summer, but does a great job playing Joel. So does the young lady who plays Ellie. Phenomenal actors, doing a great job. We get to see Abby, her crew. We get introduced to them, pretty much mourning the death of everybody in the Fireflies that Joel took out to save Ellie at the end of season 1. And so we see them mourning. We see Abby kind of get some resolve and be like, yo, we're going to find him and we're going to kill him. And I need y'all to help me. And they agree. And so we cut to picking up where with Joel and Ellie in Jackson, Wyoming. And we see that everything ain't how we left it. You know what I mean? We see that everything ain't how we left it at the end of season 1. And the father-daughter relationship that once was throughout season 1 and throughout the first game has now become a fractured relationship between Ellie and Joel, and they're not really speaking to one another. She's not speaking to him. He's trying to speak to her. It's just not working. She's acting real teenagery, but at the same time, he swore up and down that he didn't do anything wrong and pretty much lied to Ellie about what transpired at the Firefly camp. And you can see it's some extra. You can see it's some underlying issues there with Ellie. You can tell either Ellie knows that he's lying, or it's just a very strong fractured relationship that's not just some teenagery BS. And we see Joel's in therapy now. We see that he's in therapy to kind of talk about what he wants to talk about, but not what he needs to talk about. So he's talking about her being a jerk pretty much, but he's not talking about why she's being a jerk. He keeps saying, I'm a good man, I'm a good man. And even the therapist calls him out on his BS. It's just like, yo, you're lying to me. We've had 5 sessions and you continue to lie to me. And I'm not going to pretty much coddle you for your BS until you're honest with me and upfront. And so we see kind of Joel and Ellie's typical days and how everything works. We jump ahead 5 years into the future, and we pretty much see Ellie kind of going out, practicing her sniping abilities with Tommy. We see her being a part of the patrols that they go on, and we see a new character, Isabella Merced, Dina, who's pretty much Ellie's best friend at this point, who respects Joel, and you can tell she kind of likes Joel. She favors Joel, but at the same time, understanding that Joel and Ellie are kind of beefing right now. And so it's just interesting to see that dynamic. We see, of course, them go out on a patrol. They find a trail of blood. They follow the trail of blood. It looks like 6 of the clickers got to a grizzly bear, took them out. But they see one crawled into like a little market area. So we see Dina and Ellie go ahead and show their chemistry with one another, take down what they think to be the clicker that got away, and through the process of that, Ellie falls through the floor and kind of is in the supermarket area and is kind of hunted by like a stalker that's super quiet, kind of evolved, because they're not just aimlessly running at wherever there's sound. That the stalker was actually like stalking her. It was quiet, it hid, waited for her to shoot, then it attacked her, and it accidentally bit her. Well, not accidentally, it purposely bit her, but by the time Dina came down there, she had it covered up, and they pretty much told the council, Tommy, his wife, and everybody else on the council, that pretty much Ellie's account for everything. And Dina seconded, yep, I saw everything, and they was just like, yeah, Dina, we don't believe you. But Ellie, we don't feel like you're lying. And so you can see them kind of just navigating life in the new world, and just navigating how they do things, how they patrol, how they just do different things in this new life, in this community in Jackson, Wyoming. And we see them continuing to take people in that aren't affected and stuff like that, and put them a part of the community. You see Joel, Tommy, and his wife kind of have a discourse about letting people in and just kind of being mindful to not pretty much to not overwork themselves. They're trying to build more houses and more buildings so that way people have places to stay, but the more they keep taking people in, the harder it is going to be to make sure everybody has a place to stay, to make sure everybody's good. So it's valid concerns, but it's just interesting to see how everybody's adjusting to this new life. And you see the Jackson, Wyoming complex or community is kind of in like a mountainous area, and we see them have their New Year's Eve like dance or whatever. And that was a big moment in the game where Ellie and Dina kind of hook up and they make their first connection, and we see that happen in the show as well. And we see it pretty much end in one of the community members saying, "Hey man, it's supposed to be a family event," and him deeming them two, of course, being being both females and pretty much connecting with one another. I don't know how else to say it, because anyway, kissing or whatever. He deemed that as unfit and tried to call him out on it, even called him dykes, which is disrespectful. And Joel comes out of nowhere and pretty much knocks him to the floor. Ellie gets pissed at Joel for coming to her defense and pretty much embarrasses him in front of the whole town. It's like, yo, I don't need your help. So Joel's like, all right. You can tell he was kind of dejected after that. Like, he was just trying to help. He was trying to be helpful. He's been trying to connect with her. He's been trying to talk to her. She's been pretty much stonewalling him out with no explanation to him. But I feel like it just seems like he knows why she's doing it, but he's too afraid to have that conversation, and she's not gonna bring it up until he brings it up, and she's just gonna keep stonewalling. And so it's just like it's just a never-ending cycle, but it's real because people go through this all the time when it comes to relationships, especially familial relationships. Like that can be a sticky situation. But we see at the end of their little party, a family walks away with a sparkler, ends up throwing it behind their head. It ends up hitting a broken pipe that they broke earlier while they were doing some construction. It had some debris in the pipe, and we see, of course, the fungus spreading through the pipe, and pretty much, the fungus kind of has a hive mind, so now they kind of know that people are active over there. So more than likely throughout the season is gonna probably be herds of those clickers and stuff like that attacking Jackson, Wyoming. Now that they know that there's activity over there, and at the end of the episode, we actually see Abby's crew pull up on Jackson, Wyoming. Now they're still a far distance away, but they at least have him in eyesight at this point, and it's just like, whoa. I don't know how fast we're gonna escalate to what happens in part 2. If you know, you know. But it's just interesting to see how this has developed so far. I'm not gonna hold you. This particular episode, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because it was dope. It was great setting, all that. I enjoyed it. I like what they did with it. I like the dialogue in it and the interactions with different characters and stuff like that. But I feel like this was it was like a very, very well done opening episode to this season, and just seeing how relationships have shifted, how they changed, how they developed, and just understanding how everything is progressing in the story. And like, yo, like I said before, Pedro Pascal ain't ever disappointed as a dad. Anytime he plays a dad, he always does his thing, man. That scene with him in the therapist going at it, and him kind of breaking down in the therapy and then just kind of storming out. It was dope. It was dope. It was very powerful scene. Just the different interactions, seeing how the clickers have evolved, seeing the council coming together, having a meeting, like all of that. It was pretty dope the way everything developed and how it came about. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this season. Can't wait to see how the rest of this unfolds. I'm wondering where the big giant, if you know, you know, of part 2 is gonna happen. Is it gonna happen early in season 2? Is it gonna happen midway through season 2? Is it gonna happen towards the end of season 2? Like, I'm interested to see how that's gonna play a part, because it's gonna get real interesting. Are they gonna actually do 3 seasons and save the big situation for season 3? Who knows? But I'm excited to see it, and I'm really glad that this show is back. I'm not gonna hold you, because this just off of this episode alone, you can see the character work in this series is gonna be phenomenal, and I'm here for it. I'm excited to see it. Let me know in the comments below how y'all have you tapped in to the game? Have you tapped into part 1 or part 2 of the game? Have you tapped into the season 1 of The Last of Us series? Let me know in the comments below. What was your favorite part if you have tapped in? If you haven't tapped in, definitely put it on your watch list for sure, because me personally, I haven't played part 2. I know what happens in part 2, but I haven't played it yet. I did play part 1. I didn't beat part 1, but I did play it, but I know how part 1 ends, so stop me out. But I thoroughly enjoyed the story of this game more than I did actually playing it, but that's just me. It's just me. Start me out. But don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely hit that notification bell so that way you can be notified anytime we drop a new video on the channel, which is every day. So stay tapped in, stay tuned in, stay locked in, and never forget, it's FreeSoul to the show free. Let's get it.